Hi, I'm Vince DeSantis. I'm the mayor of Gloversville, and right now we're in downtown Gloversville on the second floor of the CRG building on West Fulton Street. And I want to introduce Kevin Chamberlain, who comes here. Kevin, you're originally from where?
Fargo, North Dakota.
Fargo, North Dakota. Comes to Gloversville and buys a coffee roaster. And he starts, because Kevin is a perfectionist and an artist in his own right, he takes this, simple thing that's a coffee roaster that he purchases with some equipment, and he starts roasting coffee beans. And because he's a perfectionist, he creates all these different roasts of coffee that are really good. And a lot of people love his coffee. And then he starts a brand, right, Kevin?
Yeah.
You start a brand name, and the brand name is Upstate Coffee.
I actually purchased the roaster to keep the roaster in the community, and so I was roasting on the weekends for the co-op, the Mohawk Harvest Co-op.
At that time, you were working at Number 22 Bicycles, right?
So it was really kind of like it was a great deal of fun, but it was also kind of chaotic, and I met a lot of great people, and that's really how this happened, is meeting a lot of people and meeting the community, meeting the outside of the community, the lakes, and understanding like what upstate New York is really all about. And I just fell in love with the area.
So how long had you lived here in Fulton County at the time that you purchased the roaster?
Like a month.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. I knew right away that I wanted to help the Mohawk Harvest Co-op, and I mean, it's the heart of the town, and so being connected to such a small community and great community like we have here, it meant a lot. So it just seemed right. And I originally liked the machine because it reminded me of a kiln. I have a ceramic background. And I was like, oh, that's basically a kiln. And
now wait a minute, this is a really important point. He's an artist, right?
Yeah.
He does ceramics. And when he was working at Number 22 Bicycles, he was doing this fine work on these very high-end bicycles. They were producing maybe 4 bikes a week there. And they were very expensive bikes. And he was a production manager. He was doing some really intricate work there. And it was very important to them because Kevin is a perfectionist. He does everything to perfection. He thinks things through. So here he is now with a coffee roaster. So he's applying this artistic talent to roasting coffee, right?
Yeah. It really is right. And the owner at the time was like, well, it broke. I was like, well, I can fix it. And so I fixed it for him, and I just fell in love with the process. And the process started to speak to me more and more as I roasted by myself, and I went to Brooklyn for a little bit on a weekend to learn from a really great roaster there. And I started to realize, like, this is really cool, actually. And so it took about a year and a half to 2 years of just development and understanding, learning the roasting, learning the beans, where to get the beans, and ultimately just like, what am I doing? So that was really a lot of fun in itself. So that's how that kind of started off.
It's a large space up here on the second floor. It's pretty big. Kevin's got room for expansion.
Yeah.
He's got things, ready to go. And it's a beautiful space. And tell me a little bit about the mural that's in back of us, because this was kind of a collaboration, and it was from an artist, a mural artist who is from Brooklyn, right?
It is, yeah. Tony Carter painted this all with spray can.
Yes.
So let's start off with that. Like, that's crazy.
And he's not kidding, because I was here when this was being done.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe it.
It's really cool.
And I don't know how this looks on camera, but if you were actually here and you saw this, you can tell that these people are really happy.
Yeah.
And probably really caffeinated.
Yeah. Having a good time in Adirondacks.
And it's very Adirondack, but it's colorful as well. So So, and I did meet Tony.
Yeah, he's a really good guy.
Yeah.
Tony and I met at University of Iowa. I was a grad student there, and he was an undergrad, and became really good friends. And he moved to Brooklyn, and he's very successful. He has 2 murals in the Facebook headquarters. He has murals in museums, and he's worked with schools and churches, nonprofits. He's just a stand-up guy and extremely talented. And it was, as a friendship, it was like, hey Tony, come on up here, let's do this, it's gonna be awesome. He's like, awesome, sweet. So that's more or less how that kind of happened. But you say it's a collaboration, and it absolutely is. This will be on a specialty box. So when you order coffee, we'll have like a signature box with this as a print inside, and it'll be signed, and then his 3 favorite coffees. And he'll have his own page, and there'll be explanations of how this was done, and time lapse, and really cool photos that we got, because we documented the whole process.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, soon that'll be available, and really excited to launch that. There's a possibility of this being on a beer can in a brewery downstate, which is, if you think about how neat that is, you have a brewery in Brooklyn or the Bronx area, and then you have the artist there, and the artist came up here to Upstate New York, and now we're collaborating from that far away. I think that is just fantastic.
Yeah.
So there's so many cool opportunities like that, and Upstate Coffee is, that's what we're built around. So.
Yeah. These ideas proliferate. It's imaginative, it's fresh, it's new, and this is what we call the creative economy. This is what the wave of the future is. So just to give people an idea, the creative economy is a phrase that was coined a few years ago, and what they call the creative economy is either food-based, arts-based, or inventive-based enterprises where manufacturing is done with products that are unique and special. And those are marketed over the internet and marketed to the wider community. And usually it's done by one person or a collaboration of a very few people. It's not something that comes from a major organization like a corporation, a publicly traded corporation. So this is called the creative economy. And it's projected that sometime in the 2030s, the creative economy will be 34% of the entire US economy. So from my perspective as mayor of Gloversville, cities that can attract creative enterprises and can attract creative people are the cities that are going to prosper in this century over the next 20, 25 years. And so we're really, really happy that Kevin found Gloversville, because he is, part of that creative economy. And there are other small enterprises that are really beginning to flourish in our community. So, that's something that, we are aimed at. There's also a creative class, people that are called the creative class. These are young, enterprising people that think independently. And what we want to do in marketing the community is to attract that creative class. And you can just see what's happening. Maybe 2, 3 years from now, there will be a couple of people more working here. So it's a jobs creator, and jobs that are engaging, and jobs that are fulfilling, not jobs that are deadening. So Kevin's employees will have as good a time as Kevin is having with this. So that's the whole thing, right?
Is, yeah.
Right, Kevin? The idea that when people are happy doing work, they are more happy in their lives and they're more productive at work. So this is the kind of world that we want to see in the future. and we want people to be drawn to that. So Kevin, thank you. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you.
And thanks for being part of our community.
Thank
We
you for all the
really
support.
appreciate it. Welcome to Upstate New York.
Thank you.